Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It's time for some air, land, and sea. It's time for flash travel. You know, the holidays can be the worst time to travel, right? From the stress to flight delays to fighting altogether. Rude people can also make a travel experience really a nightmare. So how can we actually minimize the stress of holiday travel? Joining us now with some tips is travel expert Meena Thiruvengadam. Meena, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mitch. It's good to be here with you.
We're excited. Andrea and I talk about this on the show all the time. Let's talk about what are some of the common but unwritten rules that travelers should follow during the busy holiday season.
I think the biggest thing is to really be prepared when you're going through those security lines. Have your ID out, have your passport out, have your liquids in your plastic bag, things like that. The more you can do to keep those lines moving, the less you're going to have to wait in them and the less frustrating the travel experience becomes for everyone
Yeah,
else.
check before you go. It really does. That stress is always, that
Always.
energy is around there. I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's talk about travel also with managing your expectations when it actually comes to crowds, maybe delays, even overbooked flights. How can we do that manageably?
So the thing that I always do is I plan for the worst, especially during the holiday season. I know that it usually takes me about 8 to 10 minutes to get through a TSA pre-check line at Chicago O'Hare. During the holidays, I go ahead and bump that up in my head to 20, 25 minutes. And that gives me a few extra minutes of wiggle room typically, but it also makes me a lot less stressed when I walk in and for the first time in months see a huge long line
Yeah.
of people looking to get through security. The other thing I do is I always check the weather. If I'm getting a rebooking notification from my airline, that to me suggests I could have some weather problems and I might actually want to look at whether I can change my plans. I found really that when it comes to weather, especially being proactive is the biggest thing you can do not to stress yourself
Yeah.
out. So if you see that your flight is delayed, maybe it hasn't gotten in from the previous destination, you might want to go ahead and book yourself on another flight if you've got that option available to you. But really just being prepared for the unexpected and oftentimes giving yourself some slack. If I know I have to be there on a Tuesday and I absolutely don't want to miss what's happening that Tuesday morning, I'll go ahead and get myself in a day or two early so that I've got a little bit of buffer and wiggle room if something does go wrong and I end up on a canceled flight.
All right, and quickly tell us when you're interacting with the airport staff, do's and don'ts. Can you give us some of those?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is to remember that these are human beings with jobs that stress them out, just like you. You'll want to treat them like human beings. And just like you in your job, there are certain things that you can't control. They
Yeah.
might be your boss's prerogative or a corporate edict.
Right.
Airline employees, hotel employees have the same thing. If you're on an overbooked flight, it is not the poor ticketing agent's fault. It is someone else's doing that's really put you there in a lot of airline policies. So just remember not to take out your
Makes
frustrations on
sense.
people who really may have no control over the
Just
situation.
be a good human. Thank you so much, Mina. Great at tips. I love these. And if you want more stress-free tips, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.